direct Prodigals home. Today we have organized this program together with the joint collaboration of the District Administration, the Legal Services Authority Dimapur, and the other key departments, that is the Medical Department, the Police Department, and the Jail Authority, and some of the organizations who are working in this community mental health program. Today, basically, we have had this training and sensitization program so that we are able to understand what are the roles that we can play within the act that is prescribed by the Government of India, so that we are able to supplement and complement the efforts of each one of us with a collective effort to address the issue of mental health, particularly in the district of Dimapur. And also we have the medical person and the police, they had also come from Newland as well as Chumukedima, not only from Dimapur district per se, but covering the two new districts and Dimapur district. So this we have done with an objective to say that we need to work together, and then with a collective effort we can do much more than isolated efforts. So this was the objective of having this program together, and we want to thank all the stakeholders for being a part of this program. Thank you.
They will agree with me. What has been the experience so far in the ground here in Dimapur is that when persons with mental illness, particularly those who are in the streets, abandoned, destitute, and roaming around in the street, we see them roaming around, and many times I also had interaction with the police stations as well, that particularly the men who are roaming around, they are a danger to others. Raping and molestation, or theft, and particularly the women, they are in danger of being raped, or any kind of rights violation is happening, and it has happened. Now, when we see these people as organizations or individuals, we cannot do anything, so we tell the police that we see that half-naked woman roaming around in the street. She shouldn't be roaming around in the street, but as per the act, she should be picked up, and then as per the procedure, it has to be done. But what is happening is that the challenge that the police have also expressed is that Tan police station, hospital there, if medical expenses, the person has to be given food or medicines or go for this test, that test, so it the police be problem. Since that person is abandoned, destitute, nobody is there to pay for the expense. So the hospital asks the police people, the police officers, to pick them up that then we end up giving money from our own pockets. Police to experience the challenge expressed by our police officers, because many times I had discussion with this with the police in the OC police stations, like especially the East police station. So itu tapi hospital jadam dia aban itu kinibi aro itu manu admit korobo gele apni tage rukhibo lage, because the hospital also they don't have an attendant, and the police, they cannot be attendants in the hospitals. So these are the major challenge that is being faced by the police. Hospital also, they have their own regulations, rules that they cannot be the attendant, and police also, they cannot do it. So now in the middle, what is happening is that those people who are in need of help are just being left around, loitering around in the street, being raped and molested, and then they are a danger to others. And then we even had a woman who with mental severe illness delivered a baby somewhere near the police station, the railway station, and the baby was just lying around, but somebody, some good Samaritan, picked up the baby, and then the baby was taken care by one family who found the baby near the woman who was given birth, who was having mental severe illness. As per the law, there should be homeless emergency psychiatric ward. But when there is no facility that has to be there, then police are also helpless. They want to do their job, but because they cannot create their own facility, hospitals also, they will do their job, but this facility, proper facility which has to be, is not there. So we are all very helpless, and we end up quarreling and fighting with each other, and then we start blaming each other. This has been the reality since the last many years, I'm telling you. So there is one shelter for homeless I saw in Netaji Colony. So if the district administration, the police, and the hospital, if we can work out something, because anytime we talk about them, I may give it pishi bar, manubar bi call karo. Madam, I'm also helpless because there's no facility available. So I think the district administration, the social welfare, the police, the hospital, and the legal services authority, at least the key 4 or 5 departments that are here, I think we really need to sit down and work out something or the other, and we're making sure that this mental health authority has been constituted, because I saw in the newspaper being advertised. I also told that the mental health authority committee members also in place there, said, but no meeting has been called so far. I saw that before December, I think, or in the month of December last year. Now it's in the month of September. No meeting has been called because, with permission of Lisa is also a member of the State Mental Health Authority. She applied for it and then she's a member. But so far, not a single meeting has been called. And this Mental Health Review Board, so far as I know, it has not been constituted. Nothing has been done. So hopefully, this discussion that we're having, we should be able to push the concerned government and the department to the needful. If not, it's a very challenging job for all of us, because we're not having the proper facilities. Yeah. So police can ami kuat the thing na nai. Ano na hoy? Because ami jana police station given complain ko usi bertala chokaran सब मतलब की क्या आया ami itu gini boy ruki boy ami attendant hoy nige ami होता है मुला pocket right दिए
for persons of unsound mind. Okay, so there are two sections. Now you can have a seat. So there are two sections in that part. So one is if the accused, in his question, he talks about a person being forwarded, and rather to say if a person accused is of unsound mind, as opposed to a prisoner who is of unsound mind, right? So if by chance the police has arrested or going to arrest someone of unsound mind, obviously even we are presuming that you also have the sense to see whether the person is unsound. You get what I'm saying, right? Because you have to still inform him why he's arrested. You will see his behavior, right? So if at that particular point of time, that inception, that time, you come to know that he is, or you have suspicion that he is of unsound mind, your duty on first production is to inform the magistrate concerned. Okay? After you inform the magistrate concerned that he or she, that as in the accused, will be referred for mental assessment. Okay, only after this assessment we will see whether this person is unsound or not. Now, again, that's why I'm saying unsound mind, mental illness, very two different things. Mental retardation, again, is also not mental illness. So there's this very fine line of difference between the two, which tends to be, mixed up most of the time. But in terms of legal aspect, in terms of criminal law, what we would have to see is whether the person is capable of giving his or her defense. So as to say, whether if I read the charge today, they can understand and say, yes, I did it, or no, I didn't do it. So usually, even for persons with unsound mind, trial can continue, criminal court will continue. If by chance a person did it, they have to just prove that during that time when I committed the act, I was not of unsound mind or I was of unsound mind. Right, that's for the police duty, okay? That's before the pre-arrest. Now in terms of yours, in case the person is of unsound mind and in the already forwarded to judicial custody, let's say. So within a few days, you'll come to know whether the person is of unsound mind, right? So if the filter is not done at the arrest level, then your level would have to be you inform the magistrate concerned as soon as possible, right? Because now he's under your custody, right? Now under CRPC also, there is a provision in which, if by chance, see, there are three options. One, he's released on bail. One, there's an under case of persons with mental disability. Now, obviously, the scheme has not been amended after 2017, but until the 2015, the scheme will still be applicable is for the PLVs, that's paralegal volunteers, who are attached to these police stations to also help guide these police officers how to go about these processes, how to identify these medical health establishments that are under there so they can refer them, right? This is the middle role that legal services is supposed to play. And apart from that, mental health, just on a concluding note, we have had this training now, but more importantly, I think the problem with enacting this Mental Health Care Act is also in terms of desensitization of the public, because the public are still, in their mind, they're still backward, right? Backward as in, they are not accepting the fact that a person can suffer from mental illness. So I'm sure everyone has faced at least one person in their family where if the person says, I'm depressed, I feel like I can't do anything, right? What do they say? It's okay. Don't be so weak. Don't be like this. Even I went through it, I didn't feel anything. You know, we tend to, by these little comments, we tend to lower a person's, you basically, unknowingly, you have disregarded this person's emotional need. So, just my humble request to legal services and Prodigal Home also in that matter is, not only for awareness programs in terms of the authority that are concerned, but also to extend it to the public. Maybe in the form of video, or maybe in the form of, through like notes on, through the phones. At least you can circulate these messages, so as to say you can call this number or this, practically. I have also had the experience of, there was a child, he had killed his own brother, right? This is like a real case. He had killed his own brother and he was mentally unsound, never got treated, right? And he was the only one who looked after his brother. His brother was going to get married, he had taken his brother was going to get married, so the brother took him to Kohima for his wedding shopping. One night he woke up and he killed his brother, right? Now what happened is, and this is why I'm saying people need awareness, is to say, in the place, I won't mention the district, but in that place, what they would do for a person who had killed their own brother, right, was keep him in a jail, in the house, okay? So it's like a man-made structure where you keep the person inside. He'll be fed there, he'll have to do his business there, he'll sleep there, everything there, right? Now, it had been a span of some months to a year. He got nothing. He became like an animal, right? Now, he could have been treated, he could have had a good life. You know, if they were also remotely aware that there was an opportunity like this. Now, this is where desensitization really matters, and your roles really play, it's very important to say, not only there is an option, but how can I avail these services would be more important, because everyone knows, acha, even in terms of the police, everyone knows, biya kaam korle the FIR lodge karo, itu piche de ki karo, FIR bhi kina lodge karo. We are assuming because we are people who are within the circle, so we know. But don't go into this presuming that everyone knows everyone's role, right? So what happened with this person is he ended up dying. He ended up dying in the cage. Okay, so this is why I'm saying this is just one instance in the state of Nagaland, but I'm very sure there are much more people who have been suffering this fate, right, for mental illness, which could have been addressed if given the right treatment. Now, treatment also with mental illness, again, a very important thing. I'm sure it will be emphasized by the medical officer concerned, but if at all possible for treatment is always better at the inception as opposed to at the end, right? Timing of treatment also matters. So I think with that I'll conclude. If you have any questions, please. Police come. Medical officers.
Touch a little bit further on that, from my experiences. I wish Social Welfare Department is here with us, because a majority chunk of the responsibility falls on the Social Welfare Department. When we say this is the responsibility of the government, then we say it is the responsibility of the administration. Ultimately, it boils down to the Social Welfare Department. Administration will direct the Social Welfare Department and they have to perform. That is how I see the things to be. Government's responsibility comes down to the administration. Administration directs the Social Welfare Department. Why not government-run shelter home in Nagaland? And of all the places in a cosmopolitan place like Dimapur, it is a shame. Why are we tasking the missionaries of charity institutions? There's a lot of questions that needs to be answered, and I hope by today's interaction, way forward can be discussed and accordingly we will process in such a way that at least in Dimapur as a model for other districts, something can be done in this regard. In the previous presentation, our presenter, she was talking about ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. One is direct ECT, one is modified ECT. Direct ECT is without muscle relaxants. Modified ECT is with muscle relaxant. Direct ECT is inhuman, so it has become obsolete. Modified ECT will give muscle relaxant in such a way that the muscle relaxant does not go to the upper limb. Blood pressure cuff to edit tight or not pandilibo. Muscle relaxant inject kurigo. Muscle relaxant will not go to this upper limb, right upper limb. In order we give the electric shock. Tide matade. Aro we induce murgi bimar koina, murgi bimar. Epilepsy. We induce epilepsy. And this was an accidental finding discovery way back in the 1970s, most probably in England, where a lunatic roaming around in the street because of electrolyte imbalance, he developed epilepsy. And as he came out from the epilepsy, palpitation. Now the scientists have developed this ECT. Today it is in use. In Dimapur, why is it not in use? Mugukchung mental health program that provided ECT. Dimapur, it is still lying, not being used. Why? We need anesthetist to give the anesthesia and the muscle relaxant. This muscle relaxant will paralyze the muscle of respiration also. So an anesthetist who knows how to give this kind of muscle relaxant for those patients requiring ECT, we don't have. It depends on from which institutions they have studied. In the institution where they have studied, if they are not exposed to this modified ECT, they would not know anything about modified ECT. If they had studied in an institution, post-graduation anesthesia, a place where modified ECT is regularly being used, then they would have some knowledge. In Dimapur, I have not yet talked with the anesthetist in Dimapur. In Mukukchung, the anesthetist was not exposed to, she didn't have any idea. And it would be dangerous if we go ahead with the modified ECT, so we didn't do. In Dimapur, I'm yet to consult with the anesthetist whether he had been exposed to this kind of treatment or not. If yes, then we will start this modified ECT, which is a last resort treatment for psychotic patients who are very, very resistant to antipsychotic medication. That is about the ECT, which our madam has talked about. Psychosurgery, psychosurgery mostly is in relation with the cortex alag-alag tagide, cerebral cortex, cerebellum, frontal na. Frontal are the rest of the brain. Connection to dissect kuride. For those resistant to even ECT, antipsychotic, but still he is harmful to himself, to others. In Ingala condition, that resection, psychosurgery is done. So that is what she was saying. The concert MO would be able to explain about it. So I'm just in it for general knowledge only. It is not related to today's program. Lisa, where is she? She had just quoted a new concept which is new to me. When a patient comes to the psychiatrist, that needs to be referred first to the clinical psychologist, psychosocial worker. Huh? Yeah? Yeah, Lisa, who pointed that out? Okay. So till today, I have not yet come across that concept that a patient, a psychiatric patient, when he comes, needs to be referred to clinical psychologist, psychosocial worker, and then only the patient comes to the psychiatrist and I initiate the treatment. So that is a new concept. If that is a new concept, probably Pura Manovisha, I may need to get updated on that. So kindly update me on that if that kind of a new concept is there. Psychiatrist. Madam was saying 1 lakh population, one psychiatrist is the guideline, desired guideline. 1 lakh population for 1 psychiatrist. That is what you mentioned, no? Or you don't remember the figure? Oh, I think, or ETC Memsab quoted that, yeah, that is true. How many psychiatrists do you think are there in Nagaland? 7. Only 7. We are what? 11 district, there are 4 or 5 district at position, some 16, 17 district, and we have 7 psychiatrists. Now 2 psychiatrists, one is already in additional director rank, so he is to be in the directorate from additional director rank. The second one is in the directorate because a psychiatrist has to be there in the directorate to look after the state mental health program. So a psychiatrist, he is there in directorate. That is Dr. Kezo, who was here prior to me. Being senior, he went to directorate and I came here in my place. Arukiman Pajishi, psychiatrist too. Just think about it. Now I am in Dimapur. I left Mukokchung no psychiatrist. And Mukokchung will not get psychiatrist for a long time to come, unfortunately. But I have trained my staff in such a way that they are as good as psychiatrists because I knew I would be out one fine day. So they would be handling the mental health program in Mukokchung as if a psychiatrist is there. That is Mukokchung. Now one psychiatrist is there in Tuinsang by virtue of the fact that his wife is also there as an anesthetist. So he opted to be there. Another psychiatrist was in Goema but recently got transferred to FEC. Two psychiatrists in Goema. One in Mental Health Institute and one in Naga Hospital. That is all the psychiatrists that we have. And in order to achieve what the Mental Health Act says, the right of a mentally ill patient that he should be treated, accordingly we are trying to devise a kind of protocol where we will be regional, zonal psychiatrists. I am here, I will look after nearby district, New Lane, Chimbukutima, Peren, like that. Tuinsang will look after Mon, Longling, like that. So we are working on that, I hope it gets done. At the same time, we are working on training. We have already trained, but again, a reorientation training will be required for all the medical officers. That is in the process of discussion. So that at grassroots level, in primary health center and community health center level, those trained medical officers will be there to meet the needs of what the Mental Health Care Act says. So that is how we are trying to deal with the shortage situation. Reason for accessibility towards mental health care. Our madam has highlighted some points. There are many, many points, which is one of my favorite topics, but I will not waste time talking about it. But most important points madam has highlighted to us, so I will not go further into that. Just, I was surprised. No offense meant. Today in the Nagaland Post newspaper there, even for this nomination of representative, like our madam is in charge of marital thing, isn't it? where for 1 month no objection like that. So even for nomination of representative of a mentally ill person, principal judge, I'm not familiar with people. Today in Nagaland Post. There the reference was Indian Lunacy Act 1992. I don't know why we are so backward. We are talking about Mental Health Act 2017, but in that Ajilaga paper there, the newspaper there, by chance I saw. So it was in reference to Indian Lunacy Act 1992.
Nagaland TV, Sob Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapur viewers, we are on channel number 994 in Global Chapter, and Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number 138 on Hornbill Digital. For all news and updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.